What's up guys, Tyler here. I'm back with a quick little video today. Now this video is going to be a little bit different than any video I've put out so far. I've never done a video showing how I fillet fish, so today that's what we're going to go ahead and get into. As you can see, I have a cooler full of white bass. They're all about that size. They're not terribly big. They're about their perfect eating size, although I do prefer them a little bit bigger. All right, so depending on the knife you use, this will make a world of difference. Now I have this Rapala Ion. I prefer using an electric knife like this. I just think it's easier and I just prefer using one. So anyways guys, I always start with the fish on this side. If you start on this side, I find it to be harder, so I always like to have the fish laying on this side. And what I like to do is just make a cut right down the side of the gill plate, that right at the edge. Okay, then I come down here to right here where the anal gland is. I stick the tip of my knife in it, I get it started, and I work my way down towards the gill plate. Alright, now you should have an L shape. Now on the top of the fish right here, you can see where I stop. I like to stop right where his fins start. So right here, dead center in the fish is where I like to stop that cut. I take the knife then. I like to sometimes flare out the fin just to make it a little bit easier to ride. I'll take the knife and I'll get right as close. Make sure you're seeing this right. I'm gonna try and get as close to the fin as I can and start. Okay, as close as you can. And I like, some people do it differently. I like to go all the way down the fish and get as close as I can. And once you get that cut going, I like to flex the knife down a little bit, not too much pressure, just flex the knife down a little bit and go about halfway down to the fish, and it creates a pocket about like that. Now once you get that pocket, I like to hold the knife like this. If you have an electric knife like this, I'll stick it in right above the spine, and I'll ride through to the other side. You can see the knife's poking out on the other side where I made the incision. Now press down just a little bit, not too much pressure, and ride it all the way down to the tail. Now as you get closer down to the tail, you want to make sure you do start applying more pressure, so that way you can get as much meat as you can right here. I kind of messed up on this one a little bit, I think. Once you get that done, I'll stick my knife back in, I'll press down again, and I'll ride that shoulder. Voila. Now I did mess up a little bit, and as you can see there's just a little bit of meat, but that's not the end of the world. I got almost 20 white bass, so it's okay to lose a little bit of meat. You're not going to be perfect every time, but that's how I like to fillet that side. I do the same thing on the other side. It's just a little bit more complicated sometimes, but once you get to this point, I'll take the knife, go ahead and start right here as close to the bottom of the tail as you can get. And once you get that going, take your two fingers and hold the tail down and just ride the meat off the skin. Boom. Once I get the fillet, as you can see, it's got the rib cage right here. I'll take the knife and get as close to that rib cage as I can get, and I'll ride it down and cut it out. Now sometimes you will have a couple bones here and there. You can normally just pick those bones out once you get all your fish inside and you start washing them and stuff. But there we go guys, it's a nice little white bass fillet. Now as you can see, something to note about these white bass, they have a little red line on there, and that's what gives the fish the fishy taste, and a lot of people don't like that. Now I personally don't really mind it that much, and since these white bass are so small and you don't really get a whole lot of meat off of them anyways, I prefer to leave it in there. I mean, if you really wanted to, you could just cut right down the side of that line and just get rid of this meat but I prefer to just take the meat as it is and make 2 small fillets out of it. And I just deal with the red meat. Now if the white bass was bigger, I would try to get the red meat out of it, but in my opinion it's not really a big deal anyways, so I'm just gonna cook it as is. Alright, well I guess that'll do it for this video. I just wanted to show y'all how I filleted that one white bass. I'm gonna do all these the exact same way. So anyways guys, hope you learned something and took something from this video, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.